Hey y'all, Melissa here with you today, and I bought myself a pair of electric scissors. So today I'm going to be showing you how they work and sharing my thoughts and letting you know, do I think they're worth it? I remember my mom having a pair of electric shears growing up, and I also remember really hating them because the fabric would easily get jammed up in between the blades. So I hesitated to buy these, but I was really curious. So I went online, looked for a few different brands, and I ended up with the Black & Decker ones. There were a lot of no name, never heard of kind of brands of electric scissors, and I decided I wanted to go for a brand that I had at least heard of before when I purchased these. So I got this pair, and they've been pretty good at cutting through anything that I've tried them with so far. The first material I want to cut for you as a demonstration is 2 layers of cotton spandex knit, and I'm going to show you how these work around a pretty small pattern piece with some curves. I am going to caution you that I'm going to leave the sound on and leave this in real time for the first cut that I make so that you can hear and see about how long this takes. And they are a little bit loud, so be warned, you might want to turn your volume down. Next, I'm going to cut through silk. This is very thin fabric, and that is what I used to have an issue with my mom's old electric scissors, and this cuts very well without getting the silk tangled in the blade. Next, I'm trying quilting cotton, and as you see, even through 2 layers, I can fussy cut out a small piece very easily. Next, I am trying oilcloth fabric. It goes very easily through both 1 layer and 2 layers. Velvet is the next material I'm trying, and it works well on the velvet. I'm not finding a huge issue with slipping, and it's a nice sharp edge on the 2, and it does seem to handle the fuzz well. Next, I'm working on fleece, and I'm just going to go straight for 4 layers of fleece. That's something I would have a hard time cutting with my dressmaking shears or even my rotary cutter, but I'm really impressed with how these scissors handle it. And here I'm cutting mid-weight leather, and as you can see, it cuts well through 1 layer and 2 layers. And for the last example, I'm going to be cutting this very stiff, very thick leather. This is the most difficult cut to make, and I'm having to push the blade a little bit to cut through it, but it does cut. So this set came with 2 different kinds of blades, and you tell them apart by the cutout in the blade. One of them is shaped like an O, and one of them is shaped like a D. And the instructions that came with these scissors is that the O blade is used for cutting fabrics, paper, and thin things, and the D blade is used for cutting thicker things like that thick leather that I cut. So let me show you how the blades swap out. To swap the blade, you push the locking mechanism back, then you can slide the whole blade attachment off and put the other one on. These scissors also came with a charger. Now it doesn't come with a brick, so I had to go plug this into my own USB brick, but the charger just plugs right into the back of the scissors, and then plug that into the brick or into a USB outlet, and those charged up. I don't think it took very long for them to charge, maybe a couple hours. And I can't really tell you how long a charge lasts because I haven't used them continuously. Like I've used them to cut out one quick project and then they've been sitting around. And so I'm not sure how long the battery lasts. So, are electric shears worth it? Here are my caveats. First of all, if you're getting them to give your hands a break, I actually find it more difficult to squeeze and keep it squeezing and the vibration on than I do with the no vibration and intermittent squeezing that I get with my dressmaking shears. And if I'm cutting with a rotary cutter, that's a whole different kind of motion, and that I feel more in the wrist than in the hands. So I'm not sure that this really if you're having trouble operating scissors, I'm not sure how much this would help. It would depend on what specifically you find difficult about scissors. They cut very well. They cut everything that I've tried them on. However, they are noisy. And I think for most uses, I would probably just gonna go ahead and reach for my dressmaker shears or my rotary cutter. Here's the instances where I'm gonna reach for the electric scissors first. First of all, if I'm cutting out multiple layers of something, especially fleece, that is something that is hard to get through with scissors, and these just glide through the fleece like butter. The other thing is this really thick leather. So this is sole leather that I showed you. And I mean, this is like 1/8 of an inch thick or more. And the way I usually cut it is with a jigsaw, not even with scissors. The scissors kind of can't touch this. It's like trying to cut cardboard with dressmaking shears. So I will reach for the electric shears with this. Now, it's not as easy as I thought. It is definitely slow going, and I feel like I'm having to push a little bit to get enough power to power through them. And like, I wish there was a little more power, but I do think that this is preferable definitely to scissors, because I can't cut this at all with scissors. And because it's small and lightweight and handheld like this, I feel like I like these better, even better than my wireless battery operated jigsaw. The jigsaw is heavier, and I have to be set up on a table because it's going up and down, and like I have to clamp things in place. So the fact that I can just kind of pick up leather and run through it with these, this is definitely where I'm going to be using these. So those are my thoughts on whether electric scissors are worth it. And check out this video for some other notions that I really love.